Greetings, Christopher J. here with Gnomes Newcomers. More and more people moving to South Dakota regularly because of our amazing Governor Christy Gnome. Let's meet two more of those wonderful folks. Cathy and Matt from Pennsylvania. Welcome to Gnomes Newcomers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here and sharing your time. So, Cathy, let's start with you. On behalf of you and your husband and your family that came in from Pennsylvania, can you just give our viewers a quick overview of what drove you out of Pennsylvania and brought you to South Dakota?
Sure, Chris. Yeah. We were actually camping in Custer State Park, beautiful park, and we were homeschool family at the time, and we really just fell in love with the West. We had been out west 2 other summers, and the third summer we decided to come back here. We had more to see in Rapid City, and we just really enjoyed it. And once we moved here, and again as a homeschool family, we were getting into civics, and in looking at the state motto, "Under God the people rule," we were just thrilled with that after some experiencing in Pennsylvania with low liberty and high taxes. We felt as though here in South Dakota it was high liberty and low taxes. And we were thrilled to see about a year later the "Under God the people rule" motto play into action. Governor Gnome's response to COVID was absolutely, applying that motto so well. And I thoroughly enjoyed reading her book, and I wanted to read a quote from it, from chapter 10. "Some folks will remember our work, but most will remember how we make them feel, how we treat them, how we invest in them. If you want to change people's lives, you first have to care about people's lives." And we really appreciate that about Governor Gnome.
Well said. Isn't that so true that she's just so personable? And that's huge. Thank you for sharing that, Cathy.
thank you.
Matt, I'm going to turn attention to you and your story. You and I share a common bond together in cancel culture and how sick and dangerous it really is for our society. You have a workplace story to share from Pennsylvania that's a little on the disturbing side. Could you share with us, please,
Sure.
what that's all about?
Sure.
Or what that was all about?
Sure, briefly, at the same time we were visiting Custer State Park, the company I worked for 12 years, electric utility company in Pennsylvania, I was doing very well there, very well thought of. It was a great company. They decided to become an LGBTQ sanctioned company with that whole agenda, which was okay. They started with the certifications and put it up on their website. They then moved to a clear motivation in their human resources department to try to hire that people group, which is, again, fine. But again, as this movement continues, it progresses and progresses. And they then brought in some contractors, specifically because they were of the LGBTQ persuasion. And I chose this one gentleman, then became transitioned to another gender. And I didn't want to recognize that, so I just was politely declined to recognize his new gender and made it a non-reference point when I referenced him. I would just say, he on occasion. And it was clear, though, that that was not well thought of, that I didn't recognize that he could change his gender, because I believe that only God chooses gender, and that if I endorsed that, I would be lying to my ethical convictions. So I stayed neutral as much as I could, but since I didn't endorse it and reference his new gender, all of a sudden some performance problems came up for the first time in 12 years. And it was clear that I could no longer work there in a good standing relationship unless I fully accepted that people could change their gender and reference them and promote that as a viable option for people.
Matt, thank you for sharing that. I know it's painful. Let me just try to clarify something for the sake of our viewers too. So performance issues started to come up when your views had nothing to do with performance. How did that make you feel?
Well, again, I felt like I was being canceled, that the the company was much more, as many companies are, Fortune 500 companies, as you know, being hollowed out. They're much more concerned about a political agenda than respecting people's rights. And certainly these people have rights to do what they want in their private, but we also have rights to believe what we are called to believe in the Bible and according to God's call on our lives. And they respected one side, but not the other.
Yeah, and that's what's really out of hand, isn't it? That's sad. Well, thankfully, we have a governor here who believes in both sides and also is a woman of faith. So both of you, Cathy, Matt, welcome to South Dakota. Thank you for bringing your support of what Governor Noem stands for and your skills and talents to this great state so we can keep America right here in South Dakota.
Amen.
Thank you
Amen.
so
And
much.
we're glad to be here.
You bet. There you have it, folks. Noem's newcomers. We'll see you again soon.